Hello everyone, it's been a minute since my last video because this month has been hectic. I was even supposed to do the reading rush and that did not turn out to be true, but I got my shit in order. I have some videos for you, and without further ado, let's get into today's topic, which are some disappointing reads of the past. I know this is not necessarily a very positive video, but I feel like you should hear these heads up before you get into these books because my expectations hindered a lot of my enjoyment of these reads. So I'm not saying these are bad books, I just expected a little more or expected something different and did not get what I want. First of all, I have a very acclaimed book in the booktube community, and that is Vicious by V.E. Schwab. I did not like this book at all. The premise was very interesting. Okay, let me just lay it out. We follow two college friends, Victor and Eli, while they're in college and 10 years after when Victor comes out of jail hating Eli's guts. All we know is that they're med students and they decided to research the phenomenon called extraordinary people. These extraordinary people are made when someone has a near-death experience and survives it, but this kind of grants them some abilities that are very close to like X-Men and the Avengers and stuff. And I thought it was very fun, and there's like a revenge plot going on in between these two friends, but I guess I just didn't like reading about superheroes. Superheroes are fun when you watch them on a big screen and just have fun with it. I just did not care enough for these sociopaths to go at it with each other, and the story did introduce some interesting characters, but I just think they didn't get the page count that they should have, and I got bored reading this. 2 stars only, sorry. Next up, we have the Yellow Wallpaper, and yes, this is a book. It's only 30-something pages, and it's a little kind of like a horror story about a woman that is depressed and the doctor assigns her a treatment where she can't leave her room. She has to stay in that room doing nothing, staring at a wall, not engaging in any conversation with anyone but her husband, and her husband is on board with this treatment as well. I thought it was gonna be a very intense psychological thriller in which we would explore depths of her psyche, but I just did not get that sucked into it. I read it because it was so short, but it wasn't a memorable read for me. 2 stars again. Next up, we have another thriller, horror, mystery, I don't know, The Guest List by Lucy Foley. I talked about this in a wrap-up before, but I don't even know what star rating I would give it right now. I feel like it's still a 3-star, so it's not bad. But I heard this book being talked about so much online that I was expecting something spectacular. It takes place on an island off the coast of Ireland where there's a wedding and different people are invited to the wedding, and then there's a storm and they're stuck on the island and someone dies and secrets are being spilled out here left and right. And the secrets were interesting. The dynamics between these characters were interesting. I just thought the reveal would be about something more shocking. It's like you get the feeling that they want you to dislike one person and distrust that person, and then that person is exactly who you need to distrust in the story, and I thought they would throw us a curveball. And since the secrets are like unveiling one at a time from different perspectives, sometimes it's just like a very convenient fact about that person that some other person had an experience about. I can't, some reveals were too convenient for me to believe they were thought through. I felt like that was just furthering the plot. But then I just didn't get the resolution that I was hoping for. Let's just stick with that. 3 stars. Another thriller. I am not happy with my thriller reads. I guess, yeah. The Night Film by Marisha Pessl. I went into this, I'm gonna be honest, I went into this with very high expectations because this was being talked about all over BookTube, and the premise seemed so well thought through as well. The daughter of a horror film director dies, and our main character, a journalist, a reporter, wants to unveil the truth behind this because the director is a very shady, reclusive man that hasn't been seen in public in 30 years or something, and he lives in this creepy mansion where he also shoots his movies, and he's very secretive, and looking into that specific guy actually ruined our journalist's life before, so he's now in this like vendetta like mission against exposing him because he thinks that the director has something to do with his daughter's death. I'm gonna be honest, there were so many good creepy scenes. I feel like my star rating for this changed. I gave it a 3 stars, I believe, but I think it's a 3.5. I was so frustrated with the ending though. I expected something spectacular, and it was kind of vague, and I didn't get that catharsis of holy shit, that was going on, and I felt I had the clues, but I didn't figure it out because it's so genius. I did not feel that at all, but I have to give it to the book that there were scenes that made me gasp and I wanted to keep reading because it was so intense. So the read itself was okay, but the ending just, I wish I didn't read the ending. That's what I'm gonna say. My 6th book on this list is The Golden Compass by Philip Pullman. Okay, this is actually kind of controversial because, well, his Dark Materials is a very known classic fantasy series. I just couldn't get into his writing all that much. I loved the universe, the fact that people have these animal-like demons, like spirits that they are connected to. There's that buddy bond that they have with their companion demon, and I loved that concept. I loved that there were so many cool elements to the universe, like armored warrior polar bears. What the heck? An evil scientist collective that is trying to fight against the magic and the demon connection among people. There were so many elements floating around, but I feel like Pullman's writing is a little dated for me. I don't want to say dated, but I just couldn't connect the dots fast enough to enjoy the overall story. I'm still fascinated by the world that he built, so I'm going to continue reading because there are also very clashing reviews on this series. Some people say don't even read beyond the first book. The series sucks after that. But then some people say the first book, it's alright, but The Subtle Knife and what was it, The Amber Spyglass, they actually tie the knot and it's better. So I want to believe those people because I want to read more into this universe. It was hard for me to get through this book. Something about his language I didn't click with. There was a weight to it that I had struggles with. The last book, oh my friggin' god, 7.5 Deaths of Evelyn Hardcastle. I did not like this. I actually stopped reading it, and I never do that because I'm slightly obsessive with my reading, just a smidge. And I usually, when I start a book, I finish it. Even though I don't particularly like it, I'll finish it. I'll give it a fair chance to earn my liking back. I didn't even want to give it to this book because the concept was, again, interesting in this mystery. There are people gathered in a mansion and a girl dies, and our protagonist, this might be a spoiler, so if you want to read this book, just FYI, I don't think this is a spoiler, but it's kind of like our protagonist is waking up in different bodies that were present in that night in that mansion when the murder took place, and he's trying to put together the pieces and figure out who actually killed the girl. But this is all set up kind of like a game, like a mystical. There's that mystical element of like changing bodies, but that aspect is explained so much that the persons that we're living in don't get enough spotlight for me to care, for me to suspect anyone, and I just did not care about who killed the dang girl. The author just spends so much time setting the ground rules of this mystical, like, body-shifting game that I lost interest in the actual murder mystery, and it's just a murder mystery, so I did not like it, and I stopped reading it. Not even 1 star, sorry. This might happen to a lot of people where you're disappointed with some reads from time to time. It's only natural. Do let me know if you had anything like that happen to you recently. I like discussing books, I like defending books, I like dissing books as well, but this is all subjective. Please don't take this to mean that no one will ever enjoy these books. I just could not connect with them and wanted to share them with you. As always, I hope you enjoyed the video, and if you liked it, give me a thumbs up and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye!